Now this next verse is turning in the contemplation the benefit of others through recollection and the vigilance. And recollections, turning in the contemplation the benefit of others through the mindfulness and vigilance of recollections. This verse 36, it goes like this. In brief, whatever our activity, wherever it is, we should ask ourselves, what is the state of my mind? With concentrated recollection and vigilance to accomplish the good of others is a Bodhisattva practice. And of course, that is the most important. This is most summarized all the commentaries of 37 practice of the Bodhisattvas. In a shortly or in the resumingly, and to saying it is like this. Through our recollections or vigilance, to analyze all the times, whatever we are doing, wherever we are being, wherever we be, whenever times, whatever we do, we to guardian our conduct, of course included attitudes. And here is to say is whatever activities, whatever our activities, the activity of the body, activity of the verb, activity of the mind. And this is included. Here is emphasizedly to saying that is what is the state of the mind. The mind is the activities. Of course, because it's the body, speech, and mind, the mind is the principle. And here is talking about a lot of the activity of the mind. The activity of the mind is the activity of the positive and negative activities. There in the mind we have two activities, positive and the negative activities. And it's very important, the state of the mind is often to check. That is we are applying our path of the liberations. That is kind of the resistance in order to make the perfect our minds. That is the way of the follow the pit instructions to analyze, to investigate, which is the state of the our mind through the recollections, through the vigilance. And we say is recollections. Recollection is all the times we have these recollections, what is to accepted and rejected. And it's when we analyze the state of the mind, and the mind is involved, something is acceptable things of the positive things, we need to more to have vigilant and mindfulness to keep continue and to develop that. And also it's recollections, to recognize that in the mind, something we need to reject things. like a kind of negative activity of the mind. When we examine this state of the mind, there is something like negative emotions. We need to transform into the virtue, bring into the path, and also to change, like a kind of. For example, we can say, oh, now I'm angry. Anger is, anyway, it is a negative activity of the mind, and I need to more to change into the compassion. Or maybe look at the essence of the angers and to recognize, which is the recollections, to remind us. Or maybe it's like there's a kind of the different the explanations. When you say the recollections, remember to what in the past is like kind of happened. For example, we can to say it's like when we have negative emotions, what it is the negative things, and we remember that to remember to say, that is not good. I don't want to continue. I understand that this, how do you say, the influence or the giving present kind of situation of the negative result. And also it's like if I continue involved negative activity of the mind, in the future is what kind of, when I will have the consequences. Therefore, we said it's like rejected things like this. And also, it's when sometimes we use the mindfulness and to aware of these negative things. For example, in the past, when we have negative emotion, desire, attachment, aversion, and jealousy, and also we have already these consequences, the result through my negative emotion of the desire, attachment, I did like this. And the result is like this, just to be aware of that. You know, for example, we make the joke. You have beautiful cats and you want to keep under your house, but there on the door there is one hole. When you go outside, you should to close it. And because if you don't close it, the cats go through that, then these cats go outside. You lost your cat. And then it's like once you forgot it. And this cat went through this hole, you lost the cat, and then after you close, it's useless, you know. But later on, you have the mindfulness that next time when you have the cat, I should to do it because I have experience to be aware of these negative emotions. They cause negative emotions, present given situation by the negative emotions, the consequence of the negative emotions which can. That is to be aware of that. You can to say is also the mindfulness. And the mindfulness, we can to say to apply the mindfulness to the what happened according to your disturbing emotions. And then it's like disturbing emotions arise to be aware of that. And then you have, there is like we can to say vigilant. And sometimes vigilant recollections, it is like and you can to say it's a tricky way the explanations. Vigilant is like is the mindfulness or your wisdoms, and to recognize your thoughts is the vigilant through the vigilance. What is the negative? What is the positive things? And then is recollected to those like negative emotions to bind them together to transform into the positive. Or you can change or look down. It is like a scattering like kind of your negative emotions, you know, to making the big mushrooms into your mind. It's making the like spread of the poison into your mind. But there's mindfulness to realize that these negative emotions. Then it's this all like kind whatever arises there, and first time it's like the arise. Mindfulness is recognized. At that moment, it's already there. And then whatever they are like spread to recollect to them, to put together, then you are applying the antidote of the mindfulness. You need to eradicate the disturbing emotions. And that is also, you can to say, is the vigilance of the recollection. I'm playing with this English language is absolutely useless, okay? But you know very well. And therefore, anyway, it's like here it says marvelous things. And all the time it is necessary through the recollections, vigilance, to check again and again the state of our individual mind. That is the most important, uncompleted good of the others, and also through this. For example, when we are mindfulness, or the recollections, is to recognize the mind, there is something, the acceptable, accept things of the compassion, to cultivate that, it is the benefit for others. That is the uncompletion of man of the others. And also there is something mind through the recollections, recollections, and to recognize negative things, to reject it and eradicate it, and then is the benefit for others. That is the great accomplishment, benefit for the others. Besides, there is automatic benefit for ourselves. It's natural, no need to mention it. And therefore, is the Bodhisattva practice the very important. Any times we say any 4 activities: eating, sleeping, working, talking. That is principally our daily life, daily activities. That moment to have recollections, vigilant, to check again state of the our mind. Our mind is involved positive or the negative. If mind is involved the negative, reject immediately, to change immediately. And our mind is involved into the positive, to develop, to cultivate, and that is the most important. And I'm going to the next verse.